Hello people watching car reviews of the world, welcome to this, the 2023 Mazda CX50 all-wheel drive turbo. Today I'm going to get this thing up in the air, we're going to nerd out in the tech specs, see how it is constructed, give it the beans, and then go play with it in the dirt. Okay, oh neat. Old school traditional stainless steel muffler. Real tips. If you were to put a hitch on this thing, it is capable of towing 3,500 pounds. It's got like rubberized, that's neat. The CX50 all-wheel drive has a viscous type twin clutch rear differential unit with a 3.841 final drive ratio. And it utilizes a rather interesting looking torsion beam rear suspension with a set of Mazda branded dampers. Has these crazy looking little plastic winglets underneath them, all of which is constructed out of steel, and it looks like it would be so easy to work on everything back here. The rear subframe is essentially just a couple little aluminum brackets that bolt up to the sides of the rear differential unit into the frame right here, which is coated in a nice rubberized protective rubber undercoating to stop corrosion. That's nice. These axles are super long. Look, it's as long as my pointer finger arm. The CX50 all-wheel drive turbo is the Premium Plus model, which makes it the most loaded and the heaviest version, subsequently weighing in at 3,907 pounds. See, Mazda, this is what I like about you. You use real plastic, none of that hairy cardboard crap. Lots of chassis braces, stiffen things up, make it handle good. And heat insulation all the way up through the tunnel or the drive shafts up above the exhaust. There's no need for a rear anti-sway bar and a torsion beam setup, so I'm jonesing to measure something here. Stainless steel mid-pipe outside diameter, 60 millimeter, which is 2.3840 inches. SAE is nonsense. Oh, it is a two-piece drive shaft. You see the rear carrier bearing right up here? Whoa! The exhaust hanger is green rubber. It's not just an illusion. The CX50 is super wide. Look where the pinch weld is in relation to the edge of the side skirt. Thankfully, the CX50 all-wheel drive does not come with a CVT like most of its competitors. What it does have is the Skyactiv 6-speed auto, which what's special about it is it's an automatic with a torque converter as well as a lock-up clutch pack in there. So it has some benefits to a dual clutch transmission, whereas it's more fun and engaging to drive, and it has an 80% lockup ratio, which is considerably more than a traditional torque converter only transmission. This is the high torque unit rated at 461 Newton meters or 340 pound-feet. Paired with the power takeoff unit in the back of the transmission, the all-wheel drive system is capable of locking for a 50-50 split in off-road, or you can do up to 100% front-wheel drive or up to 90% rear-wheel drive. Up front, you have a McPherson strut style suspension. Everything is constructed out of steel. It's not terrible. You can easily take the drive shaft off. You can access the steering rack right there. Just when I gave them too much credit, big old piece of hairy cardboard. Can remove this little plastic door for oil changes. It's got a vent. It's time for the braking test. Nobody behind me. Ready? Oh man. Wow! There was a lot of pedal travel. I wasn't expecting that. I swear my foot moved like that far on the pedal. That was wild. Not bad braking though. About average stopping distance. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 12.8 inch or 326 millimeter front rotor with a single piston floating caliper. The wheels for the Premium Plus model, they are these 20 by 8 inch with a positive 45 millimeter. As like most vehicles today, it's gloss black with a machined face. I would like to see something different and daring, like all silver. Unfortunately, Mazda didn't send the Meridian edition with the 18 inch wheels and the more meaty off-road tires, but it doesn't matter. This thing's going off-road anyway. Hey, plastic inner fender liners, no carpet, nice. Unlike the rear ones, These vents are functional. They're not just for looks. Out back, you get another 12.8-inch rotor, but not exactly. This one is 325 millimeter. That's 1 millimeter smaller than the front rotor. Another single piston caliper, and same size wheel and tire as you get up front. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. Bolstering assessment. Ow. Ouch. Bolstering is not there. The seats are pretty though. Look at this stitch that goes down the center. I want to wear this seat. It matches the dash too. It's so pretty in here. Heatilation, ventilation, also heated steering wheel. And the airbag is so tiny in the center. It's a big open airy steering wheel. This is also paired with a traffic jam mitigation system that works with the radar cruise control and the lane keep assist below 40 miles per hour. As far as drive modes go, I got this little flapper that says Me Drive. I can select that and I can go from Sport to Normal to Off-Road. Can defeat my TCS traction control system. I can also bop it over into manual mode. Some paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel. But I'm gonna let robots do all the thinking because they're smarter than me. Ready? See what this thing can do. Go. Whoa, it actually chirped the tires. A lot of torque management there between the shifts though. Smooth. That's good. Whoa. Okay, not bad. Oh, it's such a little hood pop lever. Hood struts. Well, it's not too heavy. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Mazda CX50 Turbo is the Skyactiv G 2.5 liter turbo all aluminum dual overhead cam 4-cylinder that produces 256 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 320 pound-feet of torque at 2,500 RPM. Now that is on premium fuel. If you want to run garbage 87 in this thing, it won't detonate itself to death thanks to having a cooled EGR system, but it will lose about 25 horsepower and 10 pound-feet of torque. When Mazda first debuted Skyactiv technology, the plastic engine cover used to have Skyactiv blue on it. It was really pretty. Now it's just all black plastic. Wish they go back to the blue. Ah, that's a jumbled mess of gizmos. Engine cover has some insulation on the back side of it. Digging in a little bit deeper on the Skyactiv 2.5 turbo in the CX50, unlike other models that utilize this engine, other models have a variable nozzle turbo with the 431 exhaust manifold. What that means is the center two ports on the manifold are combined into one, and then the outer two ports are separate to make that variable nozzle turbo behave like a twin scroll. This, however, in the CX50 is a twin scroll turbo. They went away from the variable nozzle just for this model. You can see through the bumper cover there's active aero shutters that open and close in front of the intercooler, as well as in front of the entire radiator and AC condenser assembly behind the front grille. Now this does have a 94 by 100 millimeter bore and stroke with a 10.5 to 1 compression ratio, which is high for a turbocharged engine, thanks to that cooled EGR system to allow that to be able to happen. I'm surprised Mazda chose to put the battery up in the engine bay instead of relocating it to the back for better weight distribution. They're usually big on stuff like that. Back on you go. Because most people that buy one of these will probably never do any serious off-roading with it, I thought it would make perfect sense to do some serious off-roading tests. So I'm gonna start with the rally special stage and see what this thing can do. Put it in the off-road mode, go. Oh, it's got a little bit of fake sound piped into the cabin. Not usually a fan of that, but it doesn't sound terrible. Woo, it rotates a little bit. The ass end will get sideways. That's nice. I was expecting understeer, but it's kind of neutral, and then as I was coming out of the corner, it started to rotate and a little bit of oversteer. Fun. Even though I have TCS turned off, I can still feel it trying to intervene. It does not like me doing this at all. Yeah. Good. Sideways right there again a little bit. It corrects itself. It doesn't let it get too far out. sideways, but out of any test I can do off-road, this is the one that's gonna push this thing to its absolute limit because it causes a lot of different vehicles, all-wheel drive systems, to overheat and subsequently fail trying to climb this hill. Keep in mind, I have terrible tires on this thing for off-roading, and this is super slick. I have 19 degrees of approach angle, which isn't a ton, and 8.6 inches of ground clearance. Oh, I do not think it's gonna make it. Well, maybe. Come on. Nope. It felt like it was gonna go, and I'm sliding. I'm straight up just sliding going down this. It didn't overheat though. It just lack of traction from these tires. Interesting. I think it'll do it. Just a little bit more momentum. That's kind of cheating. Nope. I'm not giving the fail to the CX50, I'm giving the fail to the tires. I think the CX50 would do this no problem with the right tire. What's up, little ground squirrel? What you doing, buddy? I'll give the CX50 a little bit of redemption. It'll do a little less challenging of a hill for it and see if it can do it. But I'm starting from a dead stop. Still make it some kind of a challenge. All right, go. Come on, Mazda. Oh, no problem. All right, just put better tires on this thing and make a world of a difference. I'm gonna go back down the same hill. This doesn't have any form of a hill descent control, but I have this thing called a foot, and it allows me to mitigate the brake. So I have hill descent control, and I argue it's better than the robots. Ooh, yeah, I'm sliding. I guess that's where the robots are better than I am. Rear storage, open. That's not bad. That's actually a good size. Well, it's got handles to move the seats right here. What's underneath here? Oh, big old spare. Not too shabby. There's another speaker back here in the D pillar. It's got good legroom, good headroom. Not bad considering this isn't a super large SUV. And they're heated. And I got some USBs. I thought that opened into a cup holder. That'd be kind of neat. Good sturdy armrest. But is it reclinable? No. That's one win for Subaru in that department. It's got a huge hole in the roof if you're into that kind of thing. Cup holders. Mercedes and Toyota both do this little split in the center armrest. That is such a gorgeous interior in this thing. The stitching all along the dash. It's a wireless phone charger down inside that slot. The controls for the infotainment system work off this little dial in the center. It's touch sensitive. I actually kind of like this. Lexus used to do something similar and I miss it. Fairly simple and clean infotainment system menu. Does have wireless fruit and robot compatibility. Bose sound system's not bad. The hazard button actually illuminates in the center, a little soft pinkish red color. And this area right here is pretty rough and full of good sized bumps and dips. And this thing isn't a rattle trap driving over it. It's actually smooth and it's handling these fairly nice considering this isn't an off-road package and it's on 20s. So I'm a little bit impressed right there because most vehicles I feel in this class would just be a mess driving over this. This is actually kind of fun. Chuck it around this little bend. Got to slide and understeer massively right there. A little bit of beans. Transmission's super smooth. As far as on-road driving, the fuel economy for the power level and the fact that it's all-wheel drive is livable. For the most part, affordable crossovers are essentially disposable cars. They're appliance vehicles for people who just need a good commuter and want to have space to haul things and sit up high. This, on the other hand, I feel it's a commuter bubble with all-wheel drive capabilities for a car enthusiast that just doesn't really have time for a dedicated enthusiast car. It won't make you feel like you sold your soul out to drive this thing. And I I think there is actually some tuning potential with this as well, modification potential if you want to go that route, especially with this transmission, considering the fact that it's not a CVT, it'll probably actually hold up a little bit to modifications. Time to give this thing some scores, starting with the coveted bean score, so assessment of the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And the CX50 Turbo gets a rating of... Next is a cookie score, so the assessment of value, what you spend for what you get. And the Premium Plus Package Turbo at just over $43,000 gets a rating of... Followed by the wrench score, the assessment of ease of maintenance, and it's getting a rating of... Next is the meatball score, the off-road assessment, and it is getting a rating of... Lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and the CX50 Turbo gets a rating of... I like it compared to a lot of the other crossovers on the market. I would choose this over a Forester, and I own a Forester. Granted, it's an XT, but yeah, it's good stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.